Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about Dazzler, and we're going to be breaking down her abilities and my own personal kind of worry about the champion as well. But ultimately she does look very good as a champion for sure. The issue with Dazzler is going to come from her reliance on signature ability for her to actually be valuable, but we're going to get to that. First things first, let's just take a look at her rotation. So effectively, you do want to just land your hits and build up your charges. As soon as you cross 10 charges, you can perform your dazzling dash, and then you can stun through block, and you can get pursuit if you're awakened. She's a champion that will require perfect timing taps on the special attack similar to Vision, which is something that if you plan on using Dazzler, you will need to effectively get down. And her rotation for most part is fairly simple. It's like a level 1, level 2 with a dazzling dash in there. Seems straightforward enough. She does have her falter as well that she can utilize. Ideally, you do want to knock opponents down with a heavy attack without making contact, similar to Onslaught, if you want to ramp her up easier and faster. And she can be quite impressive. She can certainly be quite impressive. And when awakened and max sig, she's accounted just about to everything significant in skill class. Similar to Negasonic, let's say Negasonic mix with Namor, I guess, would be the way to describe her, because she can ignore the damage back and send it to the opponent from champions like Killmonger, Korg, and the Tuma when awakened. And she can stop the evade from Bullseye and also evade Bullseye things. So there's a lot to like about the champion. So let's just take a look at full set of abilities, strengths and weaknesses, and discuss it. So, strengths, Dazzler's light shows second to none. Once she's ramped up and set to go, her special 2 will obliterate the foe. She does have quite a lot of damage. Similarly for level 1, level 2 rotation, if you do level 3, level 2 rotation, you can do like 1,000,000 damage basically. Dazzling dash attacks. Dazzler can slide in on her roller skates to keep the opponent under pressure. The Binding Brilliance inflicts falter for safety, and hitting the opponent's block turns them from free opening. Stuns them from free opening. That's kind of like Morbius Glide, to be honest. Damage Reflection. Dazzler's mutant powers convert sound into light energy, meaning Killmonger's attempts to reverberate just adds more fuel to already staggering damage potential. Weakness. Damage caps. That's not really a weakness, but okay. Cowardice. Even a star can suffer from stage fright. She gets significantly gimped by cowardice, and any champion with cowardice, and energy resistance. Fair enough. So let's break down the abilities. Dazzler won't let anything cramp her style. She's immune to bad vibes and also nullify. Nullify mutant? I don't think we have many or any of those, to be honest, so that is very good, a huge plus for Dazzler. Be cool, not cruel. If Dazzler's opponent isn't a tech champion, their critical damage rating is set to 0 and cannot be increased. This is going to be super annoying, by the way. That's effectively the Man-Thing's ability like, where even when opponents crit, they're not going to be doing any damage to you. So defensively, I'm not familiar with all of her stats exactly, but she could be quite a tank on defense. Offensively, obviously, this doesn't have much use aside from the fact that when you do mess up, you're going to take less damage on opponent's crits. No stopping this slideshow. Dazzler's opponent has the stand your ground mastery. It is removed. I love again, I love and I hate this. Kabam just seemingly can't let the masteries be. Like, that's all they have to say on the matter. They are addicted. Like, making champions ignore masteries is like new crack cocaine to them. It's like the crystal meth. They're Heisenberg. Or they're hooked on Heisenberg stuff. I swear to God, like, what's up with, like, masteries not mattering anymore? While dodging back, Dazzler cannot be struck by attacks. She does not benefit from dexterity mastery, but she builds 1 tempo when dodging a special attack hit. Not benefiting from dexterity mastery is also kind of, again, I hate that they're just randomly switching off the masteries, but not triggering that precision can actually be quite useful and nice, so it will have its uses for sure. But yeah, so she does not benefit from the dexterity mastery, but she builds 1 tempo when dodging a special attack hit, so that means she's going to be able to bypass. She's not going to be evading, she's going to be dodging, basically. And this also, roller skates absolutely can't stop, won't stop. Invulnerable friends that allows her to slide to the left safely against dexterity punishers like Bullseye. Well, there you go. Tempo, max 100. Dazzler builds up tempo as excitement mounts for her performance. Light and medium attacks build 1 tempo, or 5 if the attack strikes the opponent while they are standing up. Heavy attacking non-stunned opponents builds 5 tempo. Dazzler's personal stun passives do not count against this. As defender, each hit in the attack edge combo meter builds 1 tempo. That's the central resource, effectively. That's how you ramp her up. Dazzling dash attacks. Building a 10 tempo sets the stage for dazzling dash attack. Only 1 dazzling dash attack may be readied at a time. Once readied, dashing forwards from the outside of striking distance or during the opponent's special attacks inflicts falter passive for 1.2 seconds, paused until the end of the dash. If blocked, a dazzling dash attack inflicts stun passive for 1.5 seconds as an attacker on hit or on block. It also deals a burst of energy damage per tempo. So this is like very similar to Morbius's Glide, where you put a falter on, and instead of being unblockable, this is just, opponent gets stunned if they blocked it. Special 1, opener, tapping block into the rhythm with the 4 blasts builds tempo each, so that's quite a lot. Final hits inflict a non-stacking 1500 energy vulnerability passive for 30 seconds, which is going to amp up your level 2 damage. Let's move on. Special attack 2, showstopper. This is the damage cash out, effectively. If Dazzler is not suffering from cowardice, after activation she gains 10% resonance plus 358 fury and 10% prowess buffs until the end of the attack. These potencies increase by 1% flat per tempo. So, if the opponent is suffering from personal energy vulnerability after activation, Dazzler also gains unblockable buff after the end of the attack. Tapping in rhythm with the 5 lasers grants Dazzler 562 precision buffs until end of the attack. If Dazzler reaches at least 4 of these precisions, the final laser is a guaranteed critical hit. End of the special attack, reset Dazzler's tempo. Now again, I have been perfectly honest, I dislike Bum's need to add these extra games in. For the most part, I just find them unnecessary. And it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of it. If the champion's good, I'll learn it, like with Kate, for instance. If the champion's not, offensively, obviously it will not. And in general, this is just one of those things that typically makes me like champions less. I view these extra games as a minus inherently. If the champion's good enough, obviously I'll go along with it and learn the tempos and learn everything like that. And if it isn't, I just won't, and I won't feel bad about it. And if anything, it is something that puts me off playing these characters. I'd much rather have a champion activate special attack and execute it without me having to, have a potential to mess it up. So there we go. With that said, again, if the Dazzler is good enough, I'll obviously learn how to do that. And she so far looks quite capable, for sure. Special 3, Dazzler kicks things into the high tempo for 40 seconds, allowing her to build up to 150 tempo and doubling all the tempo gains. Perfect result in the Special 3 minigame increases this to 60 seconds or 50 if the result was semi-perfect. So that's encouraging. Signature ability. During her hits, Dazzler takes no physical damage and instead reflects 200% of it back at the opponent as a burst of energy damage. Keep in mind that goes from like 20% to 200% based on your SIG level. As well as, unfortunately, performing a dazzling dash grants a pursuit passive for 10 seconds paused until the end of the dash. The pursuit passive is also timed based on SIG level. What does that mean? That means that she will have damage unawakened, and she will have her glides, which can be somewhat useful. Other than that, and I want to make clear that Dazzler is definitely the type of champion similar to Namor, but all of her utility comes from the SIG. like it does for Neymar. The upside of it is when you have her at Sig 1, you already take no physical damage. So that's good. The reflection part of it is based on Sig level, and as long as you have her awakened at least Sig 1, you can already take champions like Korg, like Killmonger, like a Tomb. That's great. However, the most heavily featured matchup in that video that we saw of the gameplay, and the one that people will care about on the, the higher end, is gonna be the bullseye matchup, which effectively will require max sig to make her great bullseye count. The fact that she can dodge the bullseye without taking bleed damage, that's nice. But to be able to be active, fast, and do everything in time, kind of need that await counter. And at like low sig level, it's going to be way too short to be functional. So let's go to synergy bonuses, and then I'm going to give my closing thoughts about this entire situation, because a lot of people will get her 7-star due to her being in the track. So with Kitty Pride, get Incinerate immunity thanks to Lockheed's assistance. That's nice. First hit of special attack 1 inflicts 30% Incinerate vulnerability. That's also neat, decent synergy. Build 1 additional tempo and dodging a special attack hit with long shot. While the opponent's Fate Seal, long shot's base attacks have 10% chance to grant them an ignition buff for 1 second. That's actually quite nice, but 10%, that would actually be like 30%, so it's decent. It's not game changing, but not awful. Performing Dazzling Dash inflicts an Incinerate debuff, dealing 20% of attack as energy damage over 10 seconds. It will just give her access to energy damage and Incinerate. And Plasma, and other champions like Human Torch, Massacre, Omega Sentinel, Phoenix, and Sunspot. This one's actually quite good. This one definitely would be useful when it matters. And with Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Hulk, and Kindred, once per quest when receiving damage that would knock her out, Dazzler gains immortality buff for 6 seconds. Other synergy champions are shooting back after landing exactly 4 consecutive basic attacks, grant non-stacking 10.4 vitality buff for 10 seconds. That's not bad, actually, I guess. Synergy champions, knocking down the opponent, grants non-stacking Jiggy Withered buff for 10 seconds. What does Jiggy Withered do? Spiral. And welcome to Die Unique with Colossus Blue Team, Magnolia Storm. Again, 10% special damage, 20% if Magneto is on the team. Okay. So, that's Dazzler. Recommend masteries: Limber, Stat Focus, Attacker Block Proficiency. Yeah, that which has extra damage. Okay. Defender, Block Penetration, Relic Storm. I kind of like it that they start doing this. That lets primarily use energy damage. Okay, fair enough. That's very good. Master, Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister is going to be recommendation for all the mutants, I guess. Right, so the problem with this is, as I already kind of explained, Dazzler is definitely going to be a champion, in my opinion, for 99% of the people right now. That's more valuable as 6-star rank 5 Ascended Sig 200 over a 7-star rank 3 Unawakened. And that's kind of frustrating. And again, I'm not being like negative towards what Kabam is doing with adding her to the track. I like that. I hope they do that kind of thing more often, where they add one of the featured champions in like a calendar track type thing that more people can pick up for cheaper. Love that. Problem is, it's like, why did they have to add in Dazzler? That is a champion that a lot of people get as a 7-star, and again, 6-star will be more useful for them. So you're gonna get this 7-star, and there's a decent potential that you're not gonna use an Awakened one, because Unawakened Dazzler will not be a good counter to Korg, Killmonger, to so on and so forth. And then to make her like fully viable, you need her at Sig 200 basically. against Bullseye. And she's a champion that a lot of people will have. It's, again, without, you're always being so negative. I'm just not understanding the intent here, or the way Kabam misses these things, I guess. Either they're doing it on purpose, or they completely miss the fact that they are giving away, well, not giving away, they're adding this champion to the track where lots of people will be super hyped and will get that track, only to realize that Dazzler does not do the matchups that they advertise to without awakened ability and or high sig. And like, again, for competitive players, unless you can take Dazzler to high signature level, you will want the 6-star C200 Ascended. And this could and should feel awesome moment, similar to Beta Ray Bill, similar to whatever champions they have given to us like that in past. But instead of that, I think it's just going to be a lot of sourness again to a lot of people when they do come to realize that, you know, it's not going to be working the way they want to. They're not going to be able to do any of the things that we saw Dazzler do in the Deep Dive Showcase. So that's my thought on Dazzler. I think Dazzler is an awesome champion, looks great, should be good as 6-star rank 5 Sig 200. Or if you're Mega Whale, you know, 7-star rank 3 Sig 200-ish. Let me know what are your thoughts, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next